The text message arrived on a rainy Thursday evening, just as Caleb Morgan was helping his 8-year-old son finish a school project at their kitchen table in Columbus, Ohio. At first he laughed, then he rolled his eyes, and then he deleted the message. His friends had been trying to set him up for months. Ever since his wife had passed away 3 years earlier after a long illness, Caleb had become a different man. He still smiled for his son, Noah. He still went to work every morning and attended every baseball game and parent-teacher conference. But the part of him that believed in love, companionship, and happiness had quietly disappeared. So when his friends told him they had arranged a blind date for Saturday evening, he assumed it was another one of their ridiculous attempts to drag him back into the world. What Caleb didn't know was that the date would change everything. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unexpected love, please take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel for more emotional stories. Saturday arrived faster than Caleb expected. The entire day felt heavy. He spent the morning helping Noah practice baseball, cleaned the house, and found a dozen reasons to cancel. Every memory of his late wife seemed louder than usual. The empty side of the bed, the photographs on the wall, the birthday cards she had left behind. By evening, he was standing in front of the mirror wondering why he had agreed to go. The answer was simple: Noah. His son had looked up at him earlier that week and said something Caleb couldn't forget. The little boy had told him that he missed seeing him happy. Those words hurt more than anything. For years, Caleb had convinced himself he was protecting his heart. But perhaps he had also been teaching his son that grief never ends. So he drove to the restaurant. The place was warm and elegant, tucked beside a quiet riverfront district glowing beneath golden lights. Couples filled the dining room. Soft music floated through the air. Caleb checked in and sat at the reserved table. He looked at his watch. 5 minutes passed, then 10. He was already preparing an excuse to leave when he noticed someone entering through the front doors. And that's when he froze. Everything around him seemed to stop: the conversations, the music, even his breathing, because the woman walking toward him wasn't a stranger. It was Hannah Carter, the very same woman he had known 15 years earlier. The same woman he had once loved. The same woman he thought he would marry before life pulled them apart. Back then, they had been college sweethearts in Nashville, Tennessee. They had dreamed about a future together, but opportunities, distance, and family responsibilities had slowly driven them onto separate paths. Eventually, they lost contact. Years became decades. And now, she was standing. In front of him, neither of them spoke for several seconds. The shock was written across both faces. Their mutual friends had apparently known exactly what they were doing as they sat together. Awkwardness slowly gave way to memories. Stories that had been buried resurfaced. Old laughter returned. Hours passed almost unnoticed. Caleb learned that Hannah had never married. She had devoted much of her life to caring for her mother during a lengthy battle with illness. By the time she was ready to focus on herself again, years had slipped away. Hannah learned about Noah. She learned about the difficult years after Caleb lost his wife. She listened without judgment, without pity, just understanding. For the first time in years, Caleb felt something unfamiliar: peace. Not because his pain had disappeared, but because someone understood it. Over the following weeks, they continued seeing each other. Nothing moved quickly. There were no dramatic declarations, no fairy tale shortcuts. Just two people carrying scars and learning to trust again. The most important moment came when Hannah finally met Noah. Caleb worried endlessly about it. His son was his world. If Noah wasn't comfortable, nothing else mattered. But children often see things adults miss. Within an hour, Noah was laughing with Hannah as they built a model airplane at the dining room table. Within 2 hours, they were sharing stories and jokes. By the end of the evening, Noah hugged her goodbye. Later that night, as Caleb tucked him into bed, Noah asked a question that nearly brought him to tears. The little boy wanted to know if Hannah would be coming back. For the first time in years, Caleb answered yes with confidence. Months turned into a year. The seasons changed. Life remained imperfect, There were still difficult days, still moments of grief, still memories that hurt. But something beautiful happened. The sadness stopped being the entire story. Instead, it became part of a larger one. A story about healing, a story about family, a story about finding light after believing darkness would last forever. One autumn afternoon, Caleb took Hannah and Noah to a small park overlooking a lake outside the city. Golden leaves drifted through the air. The sky glowed orange as the sun began to set. There, with Noah standing beside them, Caleb asked Hannah to spend the rest of her life with them. Tears filled her eyes before she could even answer. The answer was yes. If this story is touching your heart so far, please comment the word hope below. We'd love to hear from you. A year later, surrounded by friends and family, Caleb watched Noah walk hand in hand with Hannah during their wedding ceremony. At that moment, he realized something important. Moving forward had never meant forgetting, loving again had never meant replacing someone, and healing had never meant erasing the past. It simply meant allowing yourself to believe that happiness could exist alongside the memories. As the ceremony ended and the three of them embraced beneath the warm American summer sky, Caleb looked at his son and saw genuine joy shining in his eyes. The same joy Noah had wished for him years earlier. And finally, after all the heartbreak, loss, and loneliness, Caleb found himself smiling without pretending. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps these stories reach people who may need a reminder that second chances still exist, even when life feels broken. Because sometimes, the date you almost cancel becomes the beginning of the life you thought was gone forever.